It's Ash from SuperVideos back for another video for Fear the Walking Dead. They just released a trailer for Fear the Walking Dead, and although usually I would do a trailer breakdown, I decided to do things a little different this time and just do some quick mini videos based on some stuff in the trailer that I do want to talk about. And the first one of those has to do with how Dwight and Sherry are actually going to return to Virginia and the sanctuary, which is super interesting. And it raises a big question as far as the timeline. So we're going to talk about that. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about the reason why they go back to the sanctuary. So stay tuned. We'll be right back to break this down. Alright, as always, before we dive into it, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's dive right into it. So this is the main shot that was in the trailer that makes it fairly obvious that Dwight and Sherry do return to the sanctuary. So we obviously see a abandoned and run over sanctuary right here. So that's super cool. The fact that they go back and visit the sanctuary again. We even see this shot of them trying to keep the walkers away. We see Sherry there, and these are obviously the walkers that Eugene helped craft for Negan and the Saviors during the Saviors War. So this is pretty cool how they're making a return, and they're kind of doing this as a callback or an Easter egg, so that's awesome. Now, of course, because they're going back to Virginia, it would makes sense that they would go back to their old house as well. And we do see that Dwight, Sherry, and even June, who has tagged along with them, are at Dwight and Sherry's old house. So that's super awesome. Just like how Morgan went back home, this is a way to circle things back around for Dwight and Sherry and to bring their stories to an end. Now, before we talk further about why they go back and the timeline, one thing I do want to mention is that there is a little bit of a confusion here because I thought Dwight and Sherry left each other and they separated, but it looks like they go back to each other or something. So that's something weird that I hope they explain. I hope they don't just show them together again and never mentioned what happened, because they did make a pretty big deal about them separating and all of that. Now, let's talk about why they go back. Although it would have been interesting for them to just go back to stay, it would be a big, big plot hole because they left and Morgan left and no one thought about returning, and now all of a sudden they're just returning and want to stay, even though no one's really there. But it looks like they actually go back to get some backup, some help from others that they know in this battle that's going to be coming up between their group and possibly a group connected to Padre. We even have a shot of Sherry telling Dwight there's a fight coming. So they don't just go back for the sake of going back, which is good in itself. They go back to bring in people that they know to have them help them, which is a little also convenient if you think about it, but that's beside the point. Obviously, when they go back, no one's back there. And that brings up the question, where are we in the timeline? Because if the timeline of Fear the Walking Dead matches up with the Commonwealth story from The Walking Dead's original show, which it appears that it is, then people are still back home at Alexandria. Yes, the sanctuary is abandoned most likely, but Alexandria still stands. So it is definitely super weird and odd that no one is back there. I mean, even if it is in the current timeline, I would assume that the Commonwealth would be at Alexandria because they had an outpost there by the end of the series. So the fact that none of that is happening is quite odd, and the timeline of it just doesn't really fit. Obviously, the fact that we're going to have Dwight return to the sanctuary, even Sherry, is pretty awesome. It would have been super cool if Negan was there as well, but that's not going to happen. Well, if they do something interesting and they revealed that this is in between the series finale and when Negan goes to Manhattan, which we saw in Dead City, and we see Negan actually showing up or something. So he'll make a cameo in the final 8 episodes of Fear, which is unlikely, but would be interesting if they do that. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to go through in this video. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.